everyone, it's TestedActorGames.com here, and last night I finished Orphan Black, which is a show that me and my dad have been watching recently, and I decided that since I love the show so much, I want to talk about it a little bit on the vlog.
Yeah, so you finished season 4. You're caught up.
I'm caught up.
It's not over.
It's not over, but
There's
it's
one
going
more
to be
season.
next season.
The next season's the last
Going to be-
season. I think it's like April is when it comes back, so it's not that far away.
Not that far away, luckily. First thing, most people, you need to have your parents watch it first. If you're a child, let them watch it first to make sure it's okay for you to watch.
Yeah. So Cooper always said when we were watching it, we've watched, I don't know, over the past few weeks, we've watched 4 seasons, so we've watched quite a bit of it.
We watch it like 3 times a day.
Yeah, well, that's only when we're wrapping up.
Only when we're wrapping up.
We watch probably an episode a day, so we've averaged, let's say.
Couple.
And then Cooper will come in and say, "Are you guys watching that inappropriate show?" Like, yes, we're watching the inappropriate show. You got to go. And so he'll go back and play and do his thing, right? Yeah. So you definitely want to screen it and make sure that you use your judgment about whether it's okay for your kid to watch, because there are some pretty extreme stuff in there. I mean, it's a TV show, so it's not like it's on Showtime or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some. Things that people would consider inappropriate in several ways.
Yes.
And even like relatively like mature concepts, like the ideas that are going on behind it are pretty heavy.
Yes.
In addition to the obvious stuff you might think about, like a lot of the ideas are pretty heavy and there's some violence and some
yeah,
lost people
definitely
and stuff.
violence. Even just like definitely a huge gore warning. There's a lot of gore.
Yeah.
And part of it made me, like, I'm not squeamish whatsoever, but the show still made me, like, I don't want to see this right now.
Yeah, so right now you're probably not convincing people to watch it.
Yeah, sorry. This is warnings. It's actually an amazing show.
It is so good.
It's so good. It's really great.
So are you full on Clone Club now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I followed every Tumblr blog on it that I could find. But yeah, definitely go watch it. Even if you're unsure about it, you should just go ahead and start watching it because it's really good. You told me to start watching it, and then from the first episode, I was really, really hooked.
Yep.
Well, and if you don't know, the show's about clones.
Yep.
And clones are always just such an interesting concept because there are so many different ways you could do it, and this show pulls it off really well.
Yeah, and it's all the performances,
I know.
right? I mean,
Like, the performances are amazing.
Tatiana, right?
Yeah.
Who plays the clones? Is
She's
just ridiculously talented.
Yeah, because there are so many scenes where the clones are interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this counts as a spoiler, but there's a scene where they're all sitting at a table together. And that must have been so hard to shoot.
Yeah, and you really, like, honest to God, you forget that it's the same
so
actress.
this
Like,
is
you don't even, they look so different and they behave so, their mannerisms are so different and she plays them so differently that you really forget for long stretches of time while you're watching the show that it's the same person.
I went into the Tumblr tag and I'm like, why is there just pictures of Sarah? And I'm like, wait, no, that's what the actress looks like.
Oh, right.
It's all one person.
She does look most like Sarah, so when you see her,
and she talks most like Sarah too. So
Yeah. No, it's a brilliant performance.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say too, like this is going to meander a bit, right?
Yes.
But as brilliant as she is, the actor that plays Fee is
excellent.
amazing. Like he really,
Excellent.
especially rewatching, because I watched the whole series all the way through last year maybe, or when it finished earlier this year, and then I just rewatched the whole thing with Presley basically. And so rewatching it, like seeing how that guy kind of ties the whole show together and how he gets along with everybody, and his interactions with Helena are like one of my favorite things. Yeah, I know that's the crazy thing ever. But his performances are unbelievable. And so like maybe it's me watching it again this time and focusing on other things, but like him and Donnie and how like Donnie kind of holds things together a little bit, but especially Fee, like the way I love Felix. Like I think that guy is just unbelievably good in the show. But yeah, all of the acting is great. The writing is really, really brilliant.
Yeah,
I love it.
The special effects, like they're so most of the special effects are actually like you hardly notice them, but there's lots of like slowing down in scenes and speeding up to kind of put emphasis on the action, and obviously having to edit. Okay, so here's this Tatiana, and then this Tatiana, and that one, and then this one. That must have been like a pain to shoot and edit for everyone because, like, when I first started watching, I was just thinking about the actress who plays the clones, but then you have to realize that Fee has to shoot, and everyone else has to shoot the scenes all over again with a different person. And it's just so like strange because you don't think about it. You do not think about the special effects, and you don't think about how they're all the same person.
You want to talk about
like,
Tatiana playing a clone, impersonating
yes, that's what I was
clone?
going to say. Like, okay, so in multiple points of the show, there's a clone impersonating another clone because they have the same face. All they have to do is like a wig and some makeup, and she plays the part so well. Like you can tell that it's someone being the other person. Like you can tell that it's Sarah being Rachel.
Yeah, she keeps some of the mannerisms of the clone that's
and her
going
accent's
undercover.
slightly off.
It's really amazing how subtly she pulls that stuff
like,
off.
this is definitely not spoiler because it's in like the first episode. Well, it's probably spoiler for the first episode. But like when she starts playing Beth, the way you can tell because she's like dodging the topics, and she's like, "Your hair's longer. I got it cut. Your hair's different. I got it cut. It's longer." And it's like,
I like Felix too. When we were talking about like that kind of, there's Felix, not the actor, not having a British accent. I think it's awesome that he had to teach one of the characters how to do a British accent.
Yeah,
which I think was really funny.
Yeah, it's really strange how the people, like, because a lot of them sound exactly like their characters. Like Donnie, he acts and sounds like almost exactly like his character. Like they cast him to play himself.
And he seems like a ridiculously nice guy.
He does.
He does. I'd like to meet him someday.
And then there's Fee, who acts sort of like Fee, but his accent is completely different.
Yeah, right.
And it's so strange.
Right.
But yeah, overall, go watch it. Excellent show.
It's really amazing.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the more like philosophically kind of questions that come up in it, because it's kind of like Dark Matter, right?
Yeah.
You know how much we love Dark Matter.
Dark Matter,
and
excellent.
Which is shooting.
It's shooting.
Right now. But like one of the things we love about Dark Matter is that there are these sort of philosophical implications of what they're talking about like amnesia and the sum of your experiences leading to whether you're a good person or a bad person and things like that. Like we go watch the Dark Matter
we did a video on this.
So you can see. But we love when they go deep like that, and this one kind of does that. Like this is all nature versus nurture, right? Because you have all of these clones growing up in different environments, and they're all very different people, and so it's making a statement about
the way you grow up,
where they're the same versus where they're different, and how they do that, right?
Yeah, it's really cool because they're all slightly the same. Like they have similar. They're all, well, obviously they all have the same face, but they're all like slightly similar in a way. Like they have this bit that ties them to each other, and they have this sort of caring for their sisters. But their personalities are so different. And it's just amazing that how Tatiana can play so many different people.
Right.
And it's like how they grew up. Like there's a very large difference between Helena and Rachel. Because
although they're similar in a lot of ways.
They're similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they have a lot of really deep similarities.
They do have a lot of similarities.
Their drive.
That's not just their hair color.
Right.
But they do have a lot of similarities, those two characters, but I think have the most different upbringings, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because Rachel was brought up like in a lab.
But in some ways, they were both sort of brought up in a lab, right? They were purpose built and raised to do something.
Yes.
Like what they were raised to do was different.
And Sarah's very different from the whole cast.
But they were sort of both like lab rats.
Yeah. But
they have that in common,
ways.
but very different ways, right? But they're both lab rats, and they both have similar traits because of that.
Yeah, and then Sarah is so different from everyone because Sarah is the runaway clone.
She's naive, right? Yeah, she was
naive. She's the runaway clone, and she just didn't. She wasn't monitored.
She didn't have a monitor, right? So for me, the biggest implication, like philosophically, about what they're talking about is like the gay clones. Right?
Yeah.
And like what that's saying about...
And Tony, who was there for one episode.
Yeah, right. What that's saying about like the nature versus nurture argument, about like a predisposition to homosexuality that can manifest itself in certain parts of the population and stuff. And there are like some studies and stuff to catch that, but I don't, but like I haven't read yet about what people are saying about like what kind of a statement that they're making in that case, but I thought that was one of the more interesting sort of nature versus nurture arguments, that they're all genetically identical. So clearly they're saying that it's not purely genetic, that there is some nurture attribute that comes out in the implication there. So I thought that was really a bold statement to make in the show, right?
Yeah. Cosima is who we're talking about, obviously. Yeah. But it's really strange. It's like so strange to sort of think about that. Like how they chose that, and
but like the
it's a
fact that
big
the
move.
show gives you those
Yeah.
things to think
And I
about is
didn't
what
see
one of the
anything,
things I really love about the
surprisingly.
show. Oh, really? You haven't seen it on the stuff you've been looking at?
Because well, I'm just gonna say the entirety of the Orphan Black tag on Tumblr is just Cosima and Delphine. They care about them a lot.
Right.
That's like most of it.
And like that is such a beautiful, like tragic love story kind of thing
Yeah.
with Delphine coming and going and the way that that works and stuff.
That's
So we
excellent.
won't go too spoilery on that, but
Yeah.
that's a wonderful story. So one thing to sort of bring this home a little bit.
Yes. That's what we've been talking about.
So I think we can go a little spoilery in the comments because
Yes.
like I want to know what you guys think is going to happen next season in the last
Yeah,
season.
what's his
Like
name?
people who are fans, Dr. Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that going to be somebody that we know?
Is it someone else?
Or is it a brand new character? What's going on with Kira's like ESP,
Kira, what
like
is
her little weird
she?
skills that she's having? There's a lot of things that are kind of going
Yeah,
on, and a lot of open loose ends about what's going to happen. So I'm really curious to hear your pet theories about what's going to happen if you're fans of the show.
And it's this kind of little, kind of really simple, kind of fluffy thing where Sarah is trying to be Beth, and then suddenly you get to the end. Well, it's not that fluffy, but
Beth jumps in front of a train in
yeah,
the first
well,
like
no,
5
not
minutes.
like that, but
That's
like
not
there's
light and
not
fluffy.
9,000 things happening at once.
Yeah, right.
There's like
Right.
just Sarah trying to be Beth
Right.
and the complications of that.
But at this point,
and then at the end,
yeah.
everything is happening at
Yeah.
once.
They
and
got a
it's-
lot to do next season
Yeah.
to try and pull it together.
They have to try and pull this together somehow. They did it a little bit towards the end of the season, but there's still so many loose ends.
And this is one of those shows that I had heard about a lot for a long, because I didn't start watching
I
it
heard
until
the
maybe
word.
last year. And so, like, I had heard a lot about it, and people really loved it and stuff, and I'd kind of avoided it for some. I didn't really know what it was about even. Like, I don't even think I knew it was about clones when I started watching it. I just heard a lot of buzz, and I just for some reason I avoided it and not watched it, and I really regret it. Or I was kind of happy because by the time I started watching it, there were 3 seasons worth of stuff for me to watch, and so I had a
Yeah.
bunch like you did, right?
I
If
did
I'd
have a
started
bunch.
earlier, I would have suffered waiting for new episodes to come
Yeah.
out. So yeah, I regretted waiting so long. So if you're thinking about watching it and you haven't watched it, you
Do
definitely
it
should.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just heard about it too.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the time, the connotations of watching a TV show were really weird for me because I only watched YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I knew you were watching Orphan Black at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like one of those TV shows that I'm like, oh, adults watch this, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch YouTube. There's just always this really weird thing when I start watching a TV show that's not animated. There's just
Yeah.
this odd, I don't know what to call it, just it's not what
But
I
you don't watch TV shows that aren't amazing,
Yeah.
like Dark Matter and this.
no,
Like there's so few shows, like Doctor Who, like so few shows that you watch that they all have to be excellent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that is people watch TV shows, and if they don't like it, they don't tell me about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't watch TV shows without.
It has to
hearing
come
about
pretty
it.
highly recommended for you to.
I don't go on Netflix and decide to randomly watch a TV show unless it's on Food Network.
And we even like I'll have you start a show and you don't like it. Like sometimes not everything that I even try and have you watch do you love. So
Yeah, I don't remember most of this because I was probably really little.
Yeah. So we just kind of try it, and sometimes
You
it takes
try
you.
it,
This one
and then
definitely
you do it
took.
again.
This one you definitely enjoyed.
I definitely really enjoyed this. This is kind of exactly where my interest is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the fandom that it's a show that can sprout like really deep philosophical things and tons of theories.
Yeah.
And then it sprouts things like evil broccoli.
I'm
Did you see
curious
Evil
to see. I don't
Broccoli?
know what evil broccoli is.
Evil Broccoli is someone didn't know the name of Delphine's actress's name, and they're just like, I don't know, her name's something like Evil Broccoli, and now that's just what everyone calls Delphine.
Right.
It's like the perfect in between because it's not.
I'm curious to
all
see what you think about the fandom as you get into it. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about the fandom, like how good the fandom is.
They do the thing with Ruby, where they do cool ship names. That's what I know about it. They do cool things like there's not an official one, but so far people are calling MK and Beth Macbeth, which I think is really cool. I just think that's a cool play on words.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm cool
I
with
know.
shipping clones.
I don't either. But like I just thought that was a clever name.
That
so
may
I'm
go
like, that's
a little.
cool.
That's a little
That's
too
a little
far
strange.
for me. Yeah, that's a little
I
strange.
don't do that. But I just thought that was a clever name. They're really clever, and they have a lot of theories. Except I don't know. I couldn't find most of them because I don't know how to spell Dr. Westmoreland.
Cool. Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah. So yeah.
What's your last advice?
My last advice: watch it. If you're a little child, make sure your parents watch it first. But go ahead, watch it. It's really great,
It's awesome.
amazing, quality show.
So we'll talk about and do some live streaming stuff maybe even when
Yeah.
it comes back out in April
Yeah,
and watch some of the
that'd be
shows
really
together. So click the subscribe
We
button
should
down
do
there if you want to watch the show with us in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.